two amazing gentlemen that I have had the pleasure of having a relationship with since 2019.
Thank you, Don. It's very good to see you again after a long time. I'm Olushiji Sanya. I'm CFO and co-founder at Tranzfar. Tranzfar means a lot. To some people, it's a solution. To me, it's a dream come true. You know, it started from an idea. The exciting thing is that dream, that idea, that evolving vision is coming to pass, and that's beautiful. The idea was to solve a bit of a problem for a certain demographic. We thought about making it easy for Nigerians in the diaspora, starting with the UK, to be able to make remittances back to Nigeria in a safe and compliant way. What we found was that people were having to make two extreme choices. One was to go with regulated firms that give very poor value. The other was to go with informal, unregulated operators who gave very good value. And we thought, okay, why don't we have a platform that is regulated, safe and compliant, that also gives good value? And that's where it started from. And the dream, the idea evolved, and it's beautifully coming to pass.
I love it. I'm Ryan, our chef.
I'm a great cook.
Who are you, and what does Tranzfar mean to you?
My name is Ryan Romeo. I'm the CEO at Tranzfar. Tranzfar, for me, is one of these sort of conduits or sort of engines used to give our community a voice economically, and by creating a solution, as he said, that is tailored to our needs specifically. Probably been the most exciting journey I've been on career-wise, and long may it continue.
What were you doing before you were at Tranzfar?
I was on a grad program in shipping. Kind of prepared me very well for this journey. It's a very sort of manic environment.
Moving the world's oil around.
All around. Funny enough, that's actually where I met. Not in the same company, but in the same industry at the time.
So as Ryan was alluding to, I was in the oil industry as well. I was an econometrician, economist there on the trading floor, advising traders on what the markets will do and how to be well positioned. Before then, I worked at Goldman Sachs. I used to be a consultant to the Commonwealth Secretariat as well.
Some of the images that I saw of the trading floor is not of people that look like you and I. Was that the case? Were there more, black representation at that point because it's in oil, so it's a different demographic?
For myself, I was working more in the operational side of things. Mm-hmm. To answer your question, could be better. The representation could be better, especially in the sort of front office trading position, especially on the desks that were sort of communicating sort of with Africa directly, and you would have thought that maybe
you'd have people from the region that you're serving.
But that wasn't necessarily the case.
You mentioned that you used to work at Goldman Sachs, and Goldman Sachs, still plug, is one of the sponsors of the Black British Business Awards, which I represent. I met you both through the Black British Business Awards, and it'd be good to hear what your journey has been like, and a little bit of a kind of a walkthrough for everyone watching is, you were finalists, you are now winners, 2019, financial services sector.
Well done.
Well done, well done. You are now sponsors of the Black British Business Awards. And that journey is not something I take lightly, because we don't have many Black-owned businesses who are sponsoring what we do. What was that journey like for you? And what is it like now to kind of be on the same level as a Goldman Sachs, as a JP Morgan?
That whole journey itself has been very inspiring. And the BBB has played an interesting role in that journey. And I'll say two quick things. So one is the journey into the BBB system, I like to call it, or the family.
We have a system. Oh, can I say family? System. Just sounds kind of scary.
We were nominated independently by somebody and got into one of the first things that struck me. We had been nominated for awards in the past, and won awards in the past actually. But one thing that struck me very quickly was the level of excellence. I remember the judging day. I was very, very impressed with the way things were run, with the way things were set up. I was also very, very inspired to meet a lot of the other finalists. I had really great, positive, lifting conversations. And specifically, I remember my judging day interview. It was a lovely panel. And whether I won or not, that experience was really lifting. When you're founding a startup, and especially if you're a Black founder, it's very challenging. And getting doses of encouragement. I like the buy-in of the wider industry, governments and things like that. But also I like the way it was executed. And I've seen that consistency. I mean, it's been 7+ years and there's a consistency of the high standards, and that's very inspiring to me. And I said to myself, these guys are doing a really great job. And if and when we have the capacity, we would like to be part of this. So for me, it was a dream that I caught on the
And
day of the awards.
I remember us talking about it, and you were
Yes.
like, as soon as we're ready, let us know what
be
would
part
that look
of
like.
it. So, because it's very important, not just for us to say, oh, BB is great and they do great stuff, but to put our money where our mouth is and say, we will support this type of thing. I mean, that's where the giving back thing and, making impact comes in. It's a thing of joy and pride for me, to be honest.
Aww,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm going to tell that to the team. That means
Please
a lot
do.
to us. Ryan, I know this is going to be your first ceremony with us.
Ceremony, yes.
For me, I know when I first went, it was just inspiring to see Black people doing things that I didn't even know Black people did. There was a woman who founded the youth orchestra, Chi Walker. Black people playing cello, violin, viola, bass, you don't see that on camera.
You make a very good point, by the way, and even just looking at the list of nominees, one gets a sense of this isn't some sort of esoteric achievement, that there are actually a lot and many individuals of African Caribbean heritage who are doing great things. For myself, coming into the ceremony for the first time, physically as well, not virtually, I'm looking forward to actually meeting the nominees, winners, where there is sort of overlap, where we can sort of learn from each other, and how we can sort of grow as a community and also inspire others to join the sort of entrepreneurial rat race, shall we say, and continue to sort of enlarge our voice within the sort of British community.
For me personally, I'm so proud and so happy to have you both involved in the ceremony.
Pleasure.
You're sponsoring the Influence of the Year award, and I would like to know, how would you say Tranzfar is influencing and kind of driving change within the market?
One of the things we're trying to do as a company is to be very focused in our approach, and by that I mean we're looking to continually add solutions by having constant feedback and communication from the market, those who have an interest in sending money to Africa, investing in Africa, sending money back from Africa. A lot of people find themselves frustrated and locked out of this sort of financial system, and we're trying to basically influence the market by giving Africans and those of African heritage that sort of footprint to be able to have that voice.
The access to currency, the access to digital markets and being able to do stuff from your phone has been one of the biggest changes, I would say, in that region, and it's important that you're playing a key role in that.
The borderlessness of it. Multi-currency accounts have been done before, digital banking things have been done before, but the key thing is giving that liberty financially to actually partake in the global financial system, i.e. Africans, where there are structural issues, currency restrictions, and we're saying, look, Africans can do better, they can live above all that. Let's give them a platform, express themselves financially and globally, take off the restriction, take off the barrier, and just let them express themselves. And that's the center point of that product. It means a lot to us to be able to do that, and for a lot of Africans to benefit from it as well. We've been thinking about how to make it easier for Africans to trade within the continent seamlessly, but also make it easy for Africa to trade with the world, opening it up, removing those barriers, making it seamless, but also allowing Africa to trade seamlessly within itself. And that's what the African Continental Trade Agreement is all about. We are basically working on a major infrastructure project that will literally disrupt the whole space.
And we have just recently launched a reverse payment or reverse remittance product, and that now allows those with accounts in Africa to send money back to the West, that's to the UK, Europe, etc. And
about 30 countries.
30 countries, yes. And that will gradually increase as we continue to expand our corridors. After that, as Siji has mentioned, we're launching the multi-currency accounts, which will allow individuals to hold accounts in their name, in euros, dollars, their local African currency and GBP as well. Different to maybe a virtual account, they will actually be embedded within their respective countries' payment systems, whether it be UK faster payments, etc. And therefore, there's basically that sort of closes the gap between being in Africa and not being. Creating a sort of global payments infrastructure, which is centered in Africa, which will allow African countries to basically trade within themselves seamlessly, trade between intercontinental seamlessly, and also be able to give them sort of like a footing globally, whether it be via sort of trade, merchants, etc. So these are a few things we're working on, and they all revolve around seamlessness, ease of doing business, and just breaking down the barriers to entry for people.
As individuals, and I'll start with you, Siji, what is the legacy that you would like to leave?
To draw attention to Africa demonstrate excellence. There's a message of possibility. There's a message of no barriers. If you set your mind to it and you choose to do it well. Obviously, there's regulation, but I think there needs to be more morality and conscience to the way finance is done. In the last sort of 10 plus years, starting from the 2008 global financial crisis up until now, there's a constant tug between politics and economics. So you have what is right, what should be done, but then a lot of politicians lack the guts to do what is right. Character is very scarce, and it would be good to build and see more leaders that have the character and the guts to do the right thing, irrespective of the circumstances.
I would like Tranzfar to sort of symbolize bravery, courage, and sort of gung-ho nature of startup entrepreneur. Not just for people of Afro-Caribbean heritage, but sort of for any young person who is looking to do something, change the way things are done. I'd like them to be able to look at the business and be able to draw from that. And also understand that beyond ourselves or beyond Tranzfar itself, there is continuous work that needs to be done. Continuous nurturing. For example, one thing we're looking at starting is a Tranzfar Foundation. And what that will do is be able to enable and teach young people to code, building blocks and starting a business, etc. Give them that confidence, make them feel that, I too can do this. Let them be able to look at Tranzfar and see that, that can be done. Yeah, I like people to be able to look at what I've done and say, he left something that, till this day we are able to sort of use, and the blueprint still works till this day, and that's pretty much it.
I love that. But I put you on the spot. Look at you. You knew what you were going to say. I draw from the well, deep in the well. I always find such privilege in meeting people like yourselves just because of where I work and what I do in the business. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for having me. You can't see everyone on the camera, but thanks to Josh in the background. I will see you both at the ceremony, so I look forward to it.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Okay.